Bitcoin trading just above 90K, but we've had quite an interesting weekend with some of these altcoins, XRP, ADA, and some of those others absolutely ripping. We saw Sol start breaking out today, but does this give us an opportunity to long a couple of Sol plays here? So guys, we're going to look at some tokens that we think can run harder than Solana at the moment that are linked to the current Sol strength. Then we're looking at quite a few other altcoins. I've got some entries for you. We're touching on this OM that's been ripping all weekend as well. Is it time actually to start looking at something like Filecoin too? So stay tuned. We got tons to talk about here today. Let's get right into it. And as always, hit that like button, hit the subscribe, hit the bell. AI Ray is in the house, still waiting for the rainbow, man, but things are good.
Let's go.
And I was saying, I think the highlight of my weekend wasn't the fact that we rode that XRP long to the highs. I think the highlight was that I caught the short at the absolute top here. So we're going to talk through XRP as well. For all the XRP traders out there, we got you guys covered. And OM, I mean, this has been the big banger now this weekend. Is there time for more momentum? I've got a DGen set up for you guys. If this thing is going to churn a little bit higher, I've got you guys covered. We're going to get you guys some DGen entries. Floki, absolute banger. We looked at that on the show on Friday. Ripper. Bonk, banger as well. What else have we got here? What else is cooking? Peppy a little bit flat, Whiff a little bit flat. Poppies has come alive again. Is this the moment that we've been waiting for? Popcat traders, are we going to get a big move out of this one? So I've got Popcat for you guys as well. Let's just take a look at the current Bitcoin situation. Now you can see I've got a whole lot of lines on here. All these lines that you're looking at the moment are my easy algo pivot. So just before we touch on some BTC levels, you can see Easy Algo is projecting next week's pivots, which are going to come out live in the next, say, 6 hours. We're going to get a pivot projection from Easy Algo. So right now we can see the weekly pivot is potentially going to be acting as support, anything down to the 87K zone. So that is something interesting for us to watch there with Easy Algo. It's always exciting on a Sunday night. We get these new weekly pivots. And what we like to see is if we're super bullish, we open above the weekly pivots. If we're bearish, well, those weekly pivots open above the price action. So that is something that we like to keep an eye on a Sunday night. So let's just take that off the screen quickly now. Current plans for BTC, current thoughts around BTC at the moment. I think we go higher before they come and they end us. So Ray and I were just talking offline, a couple of scenarios that we are looking at the moment. So I suspect we get another push up from BTC. What does that look like for me at the moment? Well, number one, it could be a little fake out of this 89,800 zone. You can see we've got anchored VWAP support here. I've got a trend. I've got a 382. I've got a ton going on in this area here. Would love to see some kind of fake out to this kind of trend and then a nice little send if we are going to get a move like that. So that could be something for the bulls to look for. Any downside here could be for buying. Just look for that fake out to anything round about even 89K. Could be a little banger here for us. And then to the upside, if we carry on moving now to the upside, I've just highlighted this liquidity level here for you guys at around 92K to 92,400. That's quite a hot zone. And if we tie that in to the liquidation heat map, you can see, look at that beautiful bit of liquidation sitting up there just above this 92K level. So upside levels looking fun here for us. Bang into that zone. Anything happens after that. And I mean, we were saying, what happens next? Yeah, if people start getting aggressive, okay, and Bitcoin starts churning higher, what if we start climbing higher? Are they going to let us get to 100K, or are they going to absolutely draw in all the FOMOers, all those guys before they send us back down and really start causing some pain? So something interesting to watch here. But for me today, to the upside, 92 to 92,400, looking for that. If we do start pushing higher, then, you know, we'll have to restructure the plan and we can look at things a little bit deeper, hopefully tomorrow, but it's probably going to be something along those lines. You're going to look for that trend break there. And if they do a medium-sized rejection, then we could start churning a bit higher. So just watch out this hot zone, 90K to 92K to 92,400. Watch that. Downside, anything to about 89K is interesting to me. And then look, if they're going to come for us while we're sleeping, still got a big level here. in that type of region. 87 is looking interesting for me as well. Low 87s. And Kaya says working hard on a Sunday night is determination. Guys, when the market's like this, it's exciting. You know, it's proper exciting. Now look at this. We've just hit extreme greed. Okay, the fear and greed index hits 90. We know things are getting hot. Things are overcooked. And what I can suggest here, anybody who's had fun this weekend, and airdrops is waiting to buy the top. Listen, guys, that fear and greed doesn't lie. Remember, we were looking for longs when that fear and greed was at 20. Okay, the converse of that would be looking for shorts when the fear and greed is 80 to 90. For example, we've just hit 90. So if you've been making money this weekend, make sure you are taking profits. Make sure you are taking something out, buying the Wi-Fi handbag, doing what you need to do. Because we know in crypto, if this thing reverses, it reverses hard, it can reverse fast, and you don't want to give up all your juicy profits there. I see Fahad is talking about NIA. Guys, we got NIA for you guys as well. And NIA is looking interesting. So I've got that chart ready for you guys. So again, could be a little bit hot, guys. Could be a little bit spicy coming in at the moment. Now, there's a big week and sometimes a bit of a catalyst. We got NVIDIA earnings coming out on Wednesday. That's always the big one. And we note NVIDIA is obviously one of the biggest companies on the S&P. And, you know, they kind of sing from the same hymn sheet here. When there's downside together, they bleed together. And when they're pumping, you know, it does help things a little bit. Do you concur, sir?
AI, definitely concur. I concur. That's why the AI is here.
So what I want to say is it could be a week to start looking at some AI tokens. And guys, make sure you are tuned in tomorrow and on Tuesday on Banter Plus. Make sure you are watching. I'm going to cover a couple of AI plays leading into these NVIDIA earnings. I'm going to start with NIA tonight, and we're going to deal with some of the others as we start going. And as 𝗙𝗓𝗘 says, set your stop losses. I concur. We're getting to that spicy time where we need to start just being a little bit more careful. Okay, here's NVIDIA. If anybody wants to trade some NVIDIA, and looking interesting here for me at the moment. Now, we got a few days until those earnings comes out, so it's going to be interesting to see how it trades leading into it. What I would love to see, my dream scenario here, is a bleed out this week on NVIDIA into earnings, into something like 130. That will be an absolute banger. If we get a bleed out leading into Wednesdays, I suspect then that negative earnings could be priced in, and then we get an absolute rocket ship and an absolute surprise. So that is my dream scenario. Buying NVIDIA at around about 130 to 132 could be a banger. So we'll track this thing tomorrow. We'll track it on Tuesday again, and we'll see how it's going. But for me, any weakness leading into earnings, pump time. Okay, that is what I'm going for. And then the S&P, you can see also looking a little bit sad and falling over. We've got gaps and gaps and gaps all over the place. So right now, I've got my eyes on this gap to the downside. You can see anything down to 5,780, that type of level here. I expect that gap to get filled. Most likely a bounce off the 50-day moving average. You can see we bounced off that one already, and that could tie in quite nicely to NVIDIA weakness leading into Wednesday. Maybe a little bounce together once we drop into that zone. And now I've got an important announcement for those of you that missed the show last week where I spoke about it. There's a new channel, Crypto Live Group. Okay, you can follow them, like them, subscribe them, put the bells on. I tell you why. We are doing a rotation on this new channel during the course of next week, and we're going to be rotating. So Sheldon will be there, I will be there, Carl will be there, Run will be there, Fefe is going to be there on that new channel. I think for me, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So if you're wondering where I am next week, I won't be on Banter Plus in the middle of the week. So make sure your alarms are set and your bell notifications are on, and you are following Crypto Live, because right now there's 3,000 subscribers on that channel. We need to ramp that thing up. But if you can't find me, that is where I'm going to be during the middle of next week. And let's talk XRP. I mean, this was fantastic, okay? And you guys know that I think XRP is an absolute meme coin, but we can't deny the size of the pumpage that we had this weekend. It was actually unreal. And like I was saying, the highlight for me wasn't that I closed $13,000 or $13,500 on a long on XRP. The highlight for me was catching that short late when we closed that long. So right now you can see I've got an XRP short cooking here. At the moment, my entry is 1.24, trying to send that straight to hell at the moment. And I do have a poll running here in the chats for you guys. Look at you guys. Look at this. What's next for XRP? 1.3, 41%. Back to hell, 59%. So look, here's my thing. That entry that we've got on XRP is so solid at the moment. So I'd like to give it a run. I've got no intention of closing this one just yet. You can see my TP is set at 0.9635. looking for that. Okay, I'm going to show you the XRP chart now, and then a couple of other things that I've got cooking here at the moment. I've got Myro looking good here. I've got Brett looking good. I've actually managed to get a solid Brett long here, and I've been milking a Brett short at the same time. You can see they're both absolutely cooking. So I've got both sides covered here at the moment on Brett. Then ETH, I've got, I don't know why I'm trading ETH. Ray, forgive me, bro. I don't know why. AVAX cooking again, and my AVAX shorts turning red. And then the Sol trade is absolute banger here at the bottom. Look at this thing. And this is what a good entry is all about. I mean, that average entry is 132, and now it's really starting to cook for us. So we're going to take a look at Sol. We're going to look at all of these tokens here for you guys. But let's talk XRP. Now, just a little trick for you guys. Okay, if you get absolute pumpage on the weekend where you're seeing those guard candles, Cardano, XRP, where you got those absolute rippers, they often offer you short opportunities at some key areas. Okay, so never get too greedy, never FOMO in too hard. It was almost like a blow off top situation that we were getting out of that XRP pump. Now, because we've fallen over quite quickly, it might mean that they want to come in and take that wick out one more time, and there might be a little bit more upside here for XRP. So in that poll that I was dropped there, 1.32, that is the big one that I'm watching. That is major weekly resistance. And you can see we front ran that zone a little bit. So it was a little bit concerning for me. And we pinged it to 1.27. Okay, on XRP. So what could potentially play out? Well, you can see XRP is currently on a weekly support level now, 1.06. That's an interesting zone. If we do get a push higher, I expect this wick to get dealt with. I'm not sure how high it could go, but I'd expect another visit into that wick. I would say absolute highs here, 1.32. Look out for something like that. And then my downside target, I'm just trying to front run this 0.93 major 382 weekly level. Look at this. This is an absolute banger support level here for XRP. So anybody trading XRP, if things do start falling over, 0.93 could be a nice area if you want to start looking for longs again on XRP, and then lower down 0.72. Okay, but we'll deal with that if we have to. Ray, where are you on XRP, bro? Straight to hell?
Straight to hell, sir. Straight to hell.
Not a fan, eh? Not a fan. Okay, let's see how the poll's going. Guys, onto this poll here for me. I want to see, I need more votes here. We've got 514 votes at the moment on the poll. Okay, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. I want to see what you guys are thinking. Okay, waiting for, okay, funding rate heat map. Little bit concerning here. Remember the rules with the funding rate heat map. This thing, okay, when it's nice and orange, danger time. Look at this, peanut. Okay, under pressure, nice little bounce we got on Friday after the show, but now under pressure, not looking good. Dark orange, that's not a good look. Goat starting to look dangerous as well. And then Popcat, my beloved Popcat, is that going to come and rinse me? Is that going to end me? Look at this, a big bright orange, what do we call this? A big bright orange danger zone forming here on Popcat. So just be careful there on Popcat as well, Popcat traders. And then our liquidation heat map, like I've shown you there, just a little note to the downside. Here's this 89K that I wanted to point out. And James is trying to long everything at the moment. James, are you longing the top, bro? Are you going to long it? Okay, let's talk BTC on the 3-day. And you can see things are quite hot at the moment, but we don't have much in terms of support now on the 3-day chart. So it's not looking super strong. So if we do start falling over here, there could be quite a quick cascading effect here on BTC on the 3-day. So I would just exercise a bit of caution. But 81K, big level, 77K, big level. And this is a 74K. 72, 74K. I mean, that's an absolute banger. I mean, that is where you start throwing the kitchen sink at things. And that would be a beautiful pullback. Now, obviously, we don't want to see that. If we do get this type of dump out of BTC, 20% move on BTC, we probably do 40% on your average altcoin. I'm talking AVAX, Phantom, Sol, some of those work out 40% downside. Okay, that could also take quite a lot of time, but imagine AVAX and those things dropping 40%. So just look out for that. For me, I suspect they could be printing new lows if that scenario does occur. And then let's talk about dominance. Now, this is our guide to our altcoins. Now, remember, when dominance is pumping, we need, when dominance is pumping, we need Bitcoin to be moving up. If dominance is pumping and Bitcoin is falling over, these alts are feeling pressure. So eyes on this guy. This is dominance on the weekly. And you can see we've had a little fake out now through that region, but a nice rejection. So it would be nice if we get a weekly close in dominance under this support level. That could be interesting for us because that could start a little trip down here on dominance, and that could obviously help some of our altcoins for now. So this is a big one to watch. I like the fact that we got a bit of a rejection there. I'd like to see a bit stronger throughout the rest of the day, but so far, good start on that one. And then USDT dominance, this thing's been relatively flat. Now we've had a select group of alts pumping here this weekend. It hasn't been a free for all at the moment. And USDT dominance, what does this tell us? If this thing is pushing up, that means money is flowing out of the altcoins, out of Bitcoin into USDT. So if we do get that type of move, that is where I'm looking for a rejection. So around about 4.6 to 4.7%. So this could be a nice one on your charts. If we're getting weakness in the market, pull out this USDT dominance, look for that rejection zone. When we get to that hard resistance area there at 4.6%, that is where I think things could roll over a little bit and give us a little bit of a ride back to these types of lows. So that could be some nice pumpage just like we had there. That was beautiful for those altcoins. And I suspect if we do get that rejection, we get another nice quick pump on those alts. Now let's look at ETH BTC, which is looking very sad at the moment. And you can see we started losing key weekly supports now. And this means we have opened up a new support level for ETH versus BTC, 0.03. And my suspicions, and I'm going to show you a tweet just now as well, is that the new ETH is actually SOL. Okay, and we need to actually pay way more attention to SOL at the moment. Ray, do you concur? Do you concur, sir? I'm just feeling like SOL is the ETH of this cycle.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's how it's feeling. I mean, look at this thing. It's absolute dog shit. It's a mess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The only other thing you can do is look at the SOL ETH chart, and then flip back and forth.
That's a banger.
When it makes sense.
That's a banger. That's a banger. So guys, anybody who is trading ETH, who's mentally disturbed like me, if you're still trying to trade ETH, you can see our big support, 3,000. Okay, that is our big level. And this plan that I gave you guys last week is still in play for me. This is it's uncontested yet. Okay, it's uncontested at the moment. So we could see this playing out for us at some point. So look out for this on ETH. And for me, this could play out on a lot of other altcoins at the moment. So ETH not looking great at the moment. Support for you, 3,000. Next level, 2,800. That's your next big banger there on ETH. And just something to watch. Okay, now here's this tweet that I was talking about. Sorry, ETH enthusiasts, but your reign might be nearing its finale. No shocker really for anyone paying attention. ETH dominance is set to be overshadowed by a wave of alt layer ones. Yes, I think we know that. We've got tons of other L1s that are outperforming here at the moment. And never mind the fact that Solana has been slapped in there. So those of you that remember this phase in the market, what happens? Bitcoin surges, then ETH used to surge. Then they started moving money flows into the other larger caps, and then we get a full-on alt season. Okay, so right now we might be subbing that out with Solana, and we can see Solana is a complete outperformer at the moment here in the market. So definitely something to watch. And then this could come next, basically our hit list, the large caps, and then that nice alt season. So good start for us on Sol, and Sol fundamentals are at an all-time high. It's the dominant chain by the most metrics right now. I think we know all of that information. And then how's this from Bagsy? Okay, he's saying history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. So here he's saying ETH 2020 versus Sol now. If we take a look at his chart, this is ETH in 2020, 214% move when things started getting super aggressive here. And he's mapped that onto, or used a fractal here on Sol. And if we add 214% on Sol, things start looking a little bit spicy. Okay, we're talking 800, we're talking 900. And then anybody who got Sol at 130 or 120, well, congrats. I mean, Uncle Run got Sol at like, fuck, I don't know, Ray, what was that, $10 or something stupid? So, I mean, there could be
$8 and $13 century.
So whoever got a banger entry on Sol, this could be absolute Christmas for you guys on its way. So, you know, if we copy that ETH play, 700, 800, 900 could be on the table here for Solana. How do we get there? Well, it's going to be interesting, but it's going to be one hell of a ride, I can tell you that much. And here's Sol at the moment. So this is Sol. I've plotted out for you guys on the weekly, and you can see our levels are really starting to tie in nicely. They're very much in sync now. So we've got beautiful areas here. For Sol traders, new support confirmed, 210, big weekly level. Look at the size of the zone here. 210 for Sol, looking good here for me. Then a little bit lower down, 192. Now, these are your banger zones. These are your solid areas. So nice pullback in the markets. That is what you're looking at on Sol, 210, 192 now, absolute bangers. And then upside target, you can see we are trying to take out our previous all-time highs here at 250. And then I do have the 1.618 locked in at 271. Now, you saw how that worked on BTC, and I expect it to work on things like Sol as well. So 371 is our 2.618 target. But right now, let's get to all-time highs. Then let's get to that 270 zone. Then we'll figure it out after that. So Sol degen plays. Now, anybody trying to scalp this thing, there are opportunities. So I've mapped out a degen plan for you guys. This is Sol on the 2 hour that I'm currently watching. And what we want to do is just find a couple of hot zones. So you can see this weekend, we've had a beautiful break of trend, lovely little break of trend. And now we're looking for a typical retest in some hot areas.
Hold on. Can we see a break of trend on the likes, please?
Guys, if you're enjoying the content, hit the like, hit the bell, hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit the subscribe. And also do me a favor, during the show and after the show, drop the tokens that you want to see. Ray compiles them for me, and then we put them on the show the next day. We select a couple of them. So make sure, especially after the show, because they're easy for us to read when the show is done. Okay, so let's talk Sol degen things now. I just want to check one more level of confluence here. I just want to bang something in the bottom there. And okay, so interesting degen levels here for Sol now leading into the rest of the day. 230, okay, could be a little banger here. If we get a little sweat out on BTC, look out for something like that. A small little move on BTC to the downside could be interesting. So 230, watch that one. And then I've got a banger here. Anything from 220, 223 down to about 220, something like that could be a real banger here for us. Look at that confluence there. 223, we've got 618, we got horizontals, we got trend for you guys. So that is where you could probably pick up some kind of Sol scalp. And then your big resistance zone's going to be 250, your all-time highs, 250, 255, and then you're going to target 270 on Sol. So basically, if the market remains bullish, I expect it to hold the 220 zone on the degen time frame. Then look for that strong bounce there. If they are going to come and end us, well, you've got your levels. You've got your main levels. And remember the drill every single time. It's all fun and games, scalping, catching these things, catching the moves. Then what happens? The market starts falling over, a little bit of panic everywhere. Your best move, zoom out, daily charts, weekly charts, understand where your big hot zones are. And that's what I've given you on Sol on this weekly time frame. So just a reminder, 210, 192, those are the high impact zones. Those are the big zones where, you know, they often put the brakes on if there is going to be some kind of fallout there in the market. Now, what can you do? What can potentially pump better than Sol? Well, we know lots of Sol meme coins. You guys obviously know Bonk. We spoke about Bonk on Friday. That thing's ripping. Then we look at things like Radium, as you know. We look at things like Jupiter. You can even look at things like Pyth and a lot of other Sol tokens. Even Render is on that Sol ecosystem. Now, that could be an interesting play as well this week leading into AI. So I'm going to deal with that Render during the course of the week. But the first one I want to show you is Jupe. Now, we've covered this one. We've covered this a lot on my show because I think Jupe's an absolute banger. And I'm still looking for this 1.8 on Jupe. I still think we get this big upside move here at some point. So you can see we've got another 39% or so locked in here on Jupe if we can just get a little bit of momentum. So you can see what's happening here. We are rejecting at a major weekly resistance band. So that's giving us a little bit of pain. But what can we see on the daily chart? We've got major support. 1.06 big zone here for me. We've got anchored VWAPs, we've got horizontals, we got 382. This is a big area here on Jupe. So if you got spot or you're holding spot like I am, you're looking for a big move, for me 1.06, that's the area that I'm watching closely. If we start closing under these types of levels, then we most likely go back to the 91 zone. Okay, so just look out for that. But that's an epic buy area there at that 91 region. Now let's try and sculpt this Jupe situation. And I think there's a degen entry coming for you guys pretty soon. I think we're around the corner here. One more little sneeze on Bitcoin should give us some kind of entry here on Jupe. So right now for me, 1.14 is a nice banger zone that I'm looking for on Jupe. I'm trying to catch along here. Any moves into that area, I'm looking for a nice reaction and then some kind of pump. Now, we can't say for sure that that is going to be the bottom of the move. We could get a situation where we do print a lower high or something along those lines, and then maybe we start tracking and we start looking at that type of area. But this is my first hot zone. 1.143 is an area of interest for me where I do think we get a nice little move. There's just too much going on in the zone, to not warrant some kind of reaction there. So get your alarms on this guy, 1.143. And I think I've actually added, yes, there it is. You can see I've set some orders here on WEEX'S at the moment, and I've got 1.146 and I've got 1.1 sitting and waiting to pick up some Jupe. If we do get some weakness here, that is where I'm going to grab these entries at the moment. Now I'm going to talk WEEX'S in a couple of minutes with you guys. You can see I'm short Floki there, and I'm long here and Myro still. And this is part of that WEEX competition that we are all trading at the moment. So we're going to talk about that and some of those details in a minute. But that is my game plan on JUP. That is what I'm looking for. Just trying to snag some entries and then ultimately looking for this big move to the 1.8 region. So that would be ideal for me. Then another absolute banger, Raydium. If you're holding Raydium, what a banger. Okay, we've been talking about Raydium on and off for the last 6 months. Look at this move that we've had now on this thing over the last couple of days, last couple of weeks. I mean, look at this, 260% on Raydium here, and I don't think we are done just yet. I think 8.3 is one of our targets that we can start looking at here, and for me, that's another potential 60% coming on Raydium, absolute banger zone. So I wanted to give you guys a couple of degen plays. Now you can see here is Raydium on the 1 hour chart that I'm looking at, and just like I've shown you now on JUP, look at that reaction of our typical reaction zone there of Raydium. What did we do now? We printed a lower high. Okay, so these situations are possible. So look for those reactions, then look for those pumps, then we figure out how this is going to play out after that. But for us, for trading Raydium, what we want to make sure is that we are holding 5.1 to 5.2. If we are holding 5.1.5 to 5.2, that should give us this ticket to the 8.3, 8.4 zone on Raydium. So this is what you're going to be looking for. If you don't have an entry on Raydium and you're looking for a degen play, for me, banger, 5.11, an absolute banger. It's going to be a bit lower. So that's going to actually be it's going to be a wick down. Okay, so let's just look at this one. That's going to be a fake out to the downside. That's going to be something like this. Little push down on that weekly, most likely a candle close to the upside. So hot zones, 5.11 is what you're looking for. And then absolute banger here, 4.859. Okay, we've got double trend here, 618 horizontals, tons happening. I suspect if we do go here, it's a very quick move. And then we start reclaiming and start sending higher. So look out for that, 5.11, 4.86. And then interim support, you can see we reacted off the zone, but it's already been used once now. Okay, so if we do get down there, we probably get some kind of bounce here. Just look out, 5.37. Is another interesting zone there for me. But the bangers, 5.11 and 4.86. Those are the bangers there for me. Look out, 5.37 could give you something there on Raydium. Okay. Let's talk WEEX comp. So guys, remember everything I'm talking about here, all these all the indicators I'm using, Easy Algo, MDX Algo, Sniper Club, all these things. Everything is in the show description. So go into the show, go under the show, and you can click on, you can see my entire menu is there, including all the exchanges that I talk about. Just click more, and you can see everything is here for you guys. From Prime XBT to ZoomX to WEEX to all the exchanges. Even 𝗦𝗏𝗡𝗏 is sitting here for you guys. Don't forget, 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 on Banter Bubbles. If you sign up to any of these links here, Bybit, Blowfin, BitGet, CoinW, MEXC, and then go into Banter Bubbles, click on 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, you can win a half a Bitcoin, okay, if you guess the price of Bitcoin by the end of the year. If you actually are trading on these accounts, you will get an extra 0.5 BTC if you've taken more than 10 trades on that account. So very simple. If you want to play the game, there's some proper bulls here. Look at this, 105,000, 97,000 from Bubbles 1. We got Frankie Dettori talking 103K. Stuart, 121, bro. That's a big one. And then Apprentice, 85K. That's an interesting shout. And Ellie8223 is going for 10K. Okay, he's basically sending Bitcoin to zero, unless he had a fat finger there or mini fat finger, and he meant 101. But interesting numbers. Lots of 86, 87. I think that's pretty reasonable guesstimate. Actually, 83. That's interesting as well. I see Cole's all over this. Cole PU. He's got tons of guesses going on. So, guys, everything is there under that show description for you. And remember, things like WEEX, ZoomX, Prime XBT, there's no KYC on those exchanges. So easy to join. And here is the WEEX competition. We got 390 players at the moment. And what they've done here for you guys is they've given everybody an opportunity. You can see I'm coming first in the P&L ranking, but then there's a volume ranking. Okay, I'm coming 20th in the volume ranking, and then there's an ROI % ranking, and I'm coming 24th. Okay, so everybody's covered here. If you're trading big volume, you can win that first prize. You're going to get sent to Cape Town. You're going to hang out in the Banter offices, P&L ranking as well. If you come first there, they're going to send you to Cape Town. Okay, make sure you overtake me here. On this P&L. I don't need to go to the Banter offices because, like I said, I'm there already. Okay, so here's the WEEX comp at the moment. So, like I said, I'm short Floki. Okay, nice area, hit a nice little region there for us. Just a typical short zone for me. So I had a scalp short at the moment. And then my injective closed out, had a nice pump. That thing closed out. Then I added way too much on Phantom and ADA. And then before they sent it higher earlier today, not ADA, AVAX, before they sent it higher, they came and they stopped me out just below my entry. And then they pumped those things. So that was another lesson here, getting too aggressive on a weekend. So I'm still in my Myro. That's untouched. You can see that's $600 up. I'm still in near, but they're putting us under pressure. But I've got the near chart for you guys. That is coming in hot. And then Filecoin. You can see I've got something going on here on Filecoin, and I've got the chart for you guys. Let's click on that just to show you. And you can see I've set a couple of entries here on Filecoin. We're going to go into it in more detail, but 4.23 and 4. I've got some entries here on Filecoin, looking for a dip into these zones, some kind of weakness off those areas, buy there, and then maybe a buy there, something like that. And then maybe that trend break. So that is my current game plan there. And let's talk Myro. Okay, so look, just to confirm where we are still pushing that major weekly resistance band. Okay, big area here for us, 0.1572. You can see we've had 2 taps now on this weekly resistance band. I feel once we do pop that pretty quickly, I think we get 0.18. And then pretty quickly after that, I think we get 0.2175. Now, Myro has lagged bonk. It's lagged whiff. It's lagged tons of these other meme coins. But you can see there's interest here and it is starting to grind. So my Myro strategy remains the same. Key levels for me, 1265. Key levels, 1070. Any one of these for me, if there is weakness here, these are buy areas. These are accumulation zones. Ultimately, I do expect Myro to have a bullish run, and I do want to take out these targets at some point. So right now, dancing around a little bit, let's look at the DGen setup here on Myro. So anybody who's interested in looking for a scalp here, you can see what's going on. I've broken this thing down to the 1 hour for you guys. And what I'm watching at the moment is this nice rising trend. You can see that. Okay, so what we want to do quite simply here is start following the squeezy type pattern, and at some point looking for a pop and then some kind of send. And that will take us through that major weekly level that we are looking at over there. You can see major weekly level. We just want to pop that region. That opens up 0.18 for us. So the minute we pop that, we're going to target the 0.18 region. Then we start looking at those higher levels. So if you're trading Myro, you're sitting in a position like I am at the moment, bullish. If you are long, what you need to watch, any moves onto this trend, that is where you want to look to buy. You can see we've got this rising trend here. Look for buys. For me, 0.14. Okay, 0.14. Let's just add some fibbage there and just get confirmation. Okay, so that's quite nice. So look out, 2 interesting levels for you. 0.138. Okay, that's your sort of your lows that you really want to, you don't want to go much lower than that. So a push into that could be interesting, then something like that. So that is if we're going to remain bullish. Pretty simple game plan. And then loss of this trend, okay, easy, starts turning bearish. And then we're looking at 127. That is your next support zone, 127. So right now for me, let this thing bleed out a little bit. And then let's look for a scalp long. Let's start building a little position there. If you're not in this thing yet, look for something around that zone there, 1.38, 1.39, somewhere there, and try to ride that thing up. When we do get this pop on Myro, then it becomes fun because then we can use this horizontal as our support. So once we pop higher, then we've got support here, and then we can send that thing a little bit higher. Okay, maybe another 40%, give or take. Let's just see the size of this move here that we're looking at. So get that pop. Yeah, 36% could be nice. Could be a nice little leverage pumper there. And okay, so that is that one. And then let's talk bonk. Okay, it's past whiff in market cap. Now we saw last week some of the devs burnt a ton of bonk. Okay, so they took supply off the market, and bonk is currently doing more spot volume than BTC on Coinbase. I mean, Ray, can you believe this shit? It's proper meme coin super cycle here, guys. This is it. And you can see, I mean, look at this thing. It's absolute savage here at the moment. Do you trade memes yet, bro? Are you getting into it?
Sometimes BTC looking kind of weak.
Okay, this is what we want, guys. Okay, this is what we want.
Looks like we're breaking a bear flag.
Okay, so what we want to see here, just remember, okay, maybe we catch this live. I'm locked and loaded here. Prime XBT, let's go. Okay, I'm locked and loaded here. Let's see when we can get something. We're looking for weakness here. Into this trend, into this region, I suspect we're going to get some kind of move here, and then we're looking for a little pump out of that zone. So let's see if we can just take out 89.5. Ray, will you just keep me posted there? And we can start sniffing around 89.5, 89.6. maybe we're going to get a little scalpy there. Okay, so let's talk bonk. You can see massive levels broken. This thing, absolute savage here. And if the momentum is going to continue, very simple game plan. You can bang out your DGen charts, but knowing at the same time, knowing where your big levels are. So multiple zeros, 4181 for me on bonk. That is big support here for us to watch. That type of region there. So let's dial in here on this thing. And you can see what I got going on. Okay, I've got a nice little channel on the 1 hour. So full on DGen setup here. And you can see we are in reaction zone number 1. Okay, so this is our 382. This is our anchored VWAP in the zone, some horizontal. So maybe we get another little push here on bonk. Could be something off this region, 0.0496. Look for that one, 0.0496. And then I do have a banger to the downside for you guys. So look out for this move. And ultimately, you want to hold this rising channel or this rising trend, and that will keep bonk nice and bullish for us. So if you're looking for a bullish play, you're looking at a bounce here, 0.0496 to 0.05. Alternatively, you can start laddering in, and you just want to make sure 0.045396 or 0.0454. Okay, as long as that one is holding for you, then our rising trend is in play and things are looking good. Things are holding as bullish there for bonk. Okay, so absolute banger situation here. There's that 4181. Let's just see where that is. Okay, that's much lower down. Okay, you don't want to go to hell. Okay, you don't want to go to hell. That's probably your 786. Let's add that. Let's add that 786 here for you guys. There. Okay, that's a banger as well. Okay, so watch that. That is now your weekly, that is your major weekly level that we're watching on bonk there. That is your daily level, just below that one. But right now for me, 454, watch that area. And then here where we are right now, 496. Okay, these are your reaction zones. Looking for this channel to continue. Very simple. And then very simple in validation. We lose these rising trends. We close under these rising trends. Then sometimes these things start turning bearish before we get our next reaction. Okay, so just play that guy safely. Let's go ZoomX comp. Now there's 2 more days in the ZoomX comp, and you can see David, DGen Dave is still leading. He's got 1,000%. James, are you here? Okay, a meme master, 790%. And here's my Popcat trade, feeling very lonely because Popcat hasn't given me what I needed it to give me. I'm coming 8th here at the moment. Popcat is a good kitty and 132% up, but I still suspect if we get a pop here in the markets, Popcat is going to send for me. So here's my Popcat position at the moment. It's now $9,000. I have added a little bit to it. Now, hopefully they don't come and rinse me here. You can see they're sending this candle to the downside. But here's our hot zone. So Popcat traders, this is where you're going to get a bounce. It's either right here, 1.9, 1.89, or for me, it's going to be 1.81. Okay, so these are your zones. I suspect we get some kind of long edge here at 1.81. So just look out for that. Something in that type of region there for me on Popcat. Ooh, not that high. Okay, hold. Something like this. Okay. Okay, something along those lines for me on Popcat. Look at look at 1.81. Okay, so get those alarms on. Let's add an alert there. Okay, so 1.81 for me on Popcat. If it doesn't bounce here at 1.9, 1.81, that is where we most likely get some kind of initial bounce. Now you can see we do have our rising trend in place, so we must have our backup zones. You can see we've got this trend here, and that's probably going to tie in with a 786. If they give you a death candle here, and they really come and try and end you, you're looking at about 1.72. Okay, give or take. But for me, 1.8, that's a zone. 1.81 could be a banger there on Popcat. And remember, if you are new to trading, you're learning about trading, you're watching the show, you don't know what's going on, you don't want to risk your capital, what you can do is try something like Bitfunded. It's prop trading account. Here's Bitfunded. And what you can do is you can send them money, $79 or $100 or more, and you can get different size accounts. You can see I've got a $10,000 account and a $50,000 account on Bitfunded. What you need to do is you get 8% phase 1, 5% phase 2, then they send you real money and you get to keep 80 to 90% of the profits. And you can see the exchange, it trades pretty much similar to all of these other exchanges that we trade on. It's the same situation, but you start out with a demo account and then you can reload. Okay, you can go as many times as you want, practice different strategies, learn a couple of things there along the way, and play with other people's money. Okay, it really unlocks a couple of things for you guys. Okay, let's talk OM. Now, this thing has been absolutely ripping. And I mean, Ray, we traded this thing the other day for a small little move. Okay. Why did I close this, bro? Why did I close this? Can you tell me why I closed this thing? 142%. Okay, 142% on OM. I mean, we close it down here. I mean, at like 1.78 or something. But here it is, okay? Degens, if this thing is going to carry on with momentum, if there is going to still be a move, if this thing is going to go to $5, for example, if this thing's going to go to $10, it most likely holds this trend and it most likely bounces or uses these levels as support. So watch out. 3.144, okay? That is your degen zone number one. 3.144, and then an absolute banger, 2.78. 2.78. Look at these hot zones here. Any dips here, looking for that bounce. Any dip here, looking for that bounce there on OM. If it's going to stay bullish, you most likely get this trend to hold, and this thing absolutely sends, okay? And just the back test here, look at this. We had a 382 on the last bounce that we had. 382 bounce here, started that nice little trend for us. So looking for action on the 382 or the 618 fib. So 3.144, banger, 2.78, banger. Okay, look for that. I suspect if it's going to continue, there's a move coming here. And if they're going to send this thing to $5, well, this could be the gift. Okay, this could be the entry that you wanted. And then very simple game plan here. If we lose that trend, okay, let's just see where $5 is. Yes, sir.
BTC just swept today's lows. Just sharing.
Okay, we're bouncing off the VWAP. Okay, let's go. Let's take a small one. Let's take a small one here. Okay, just looking for that wick lower. So I still suspect we can get this push there. Okay, looking for that. Okay, let's see what happens when we get to that area there. But okay, loading up a little one here. So far, so good. Let's see. Okay, so let's go back to this OM. Yes, guys. So upside target, maybe it's going to go to 5, 80% still on this thing. Stays that holds the trend, still busy, okay, still cooking. So 3.144, 2.78, these are hot zones. You can use these as support. If you're sitting in positions now and you're wondering where your support is, use that as support. If you're looking for new entries, be greedy, try and get it on these zones. These are our best reaction zones where we can really get a move. So just play safe on this thing. And then if we lose that trend, okay, things are turning bearish, you know the drill. If we close under these trends, then we start heading lower. Okay, so very simple game. And let's see. Okay, let's see how that thing goes. But I'm interested. Okay, I'm watching this thing like a hawk and trying to get another entry. And then CRG is talking about ACT. It's doing more volume than all other top 10 AI memes combined. And he's saying, hey, Coinbase. Is he trying to say maybe there's a Coinbase listing on this ACT? I mean, who knows what he's trying to say here. But look at the volume that this thing is doing at the moment. 1.5 billion. 24-hour volume. Okay, it's doing more than GOAT. It's doing more than tons of these others here at the moment. So maybe there's something going on for this ACT. Maybe it's worth a look. This is ACT on the 1 hour chart. So I don't have much, I don't have much information here for you guys. But what I can say, use this as support. Okay, use this. Use 579 as your support. And if we do start getting momentum here, just start slapping on, start adding, just get aggressive with this thing. If there is some kind of situation brewing, then I expect this thing starts ripping. So use 579 as your main support here at the moment. Look for that trend break. Then you can get a little bit more aggressive with this thing. Right now, if you're sniffing around, play safe. Now, NEAR, I've been talking about this NEAR situation for probably a week or so. We've been watching this NEAR, and Grayscale just increased their NEAR holding in their decentralized AI fund by 2%. Okay, interesting week for AI stuff. Okay, and here's some news on NEAR. Maybe it's time. And look at this. They've even got Filecoin. Okay, look at that. Okay, Filecoin, BitTensor, we know that's an old banger. So you're going to see this week I'm dealing with GRT. I'll deal with Render. I'll deal with Tower. Monday, Tuesday, I'm covering all of that stuff for you guys. So make sure you are watching. I'll cover all those charts. But what got my attention here on NEAR, look at this thing. This is NEAR on the weekly, and we are trying to break weekly trend. Now, we haven't broken the weekly trend. We are trying to break the weekly trend. What is interesting to me is that we have broken the 200-day moving average finally. There it is there. So weekly support, 5.28. Very interesting here. Upside target, if we do get a break, 8.2 is what we're looking at. 8.2 is our upside target. Let's dial in. Let's go degen here. Banger. Okay, here comes a banger on NEAR. Now, I suspect if we're going to get a move here on NEAR, you can see I've got a rising trend in play. Look at that. And what we were looking for here is a little entry now on NEAR. We're going to look for a bounce. Now, very, very simple game. Same story as last time. We're looking for a reaction here. 5.67. A nice little zone here for us. Horizontals in play, VWAP, those types of things. 5.67, looking for a push into that and a bounce. Okay, that would be great. And then I do have a backup zone for you, 5.5. So 5.67, maybe entry 1, 5.5, entry 2, looking for a strong bounce off those two zones. If we start losing and closing under this trend, yes, NEAR is falling over, but I can tell you what, the rest of the market is probably falling over as well. Okay, so if you remain bullish on the market, 5.65 and then 5.5 are your hot zones on here. And then your targets, you go back to your big time frame. You say, what are my targets here? 8.2 looks reasonable. Then 12.6 is going to be the next one. Now, if you look at this versus a lot of these other coins, massive lagger at the moment. So I suspect this thing does catch up at some point. But right now, let's hold the trend. Let's hold these horizontals in the zone, 5.65 to 5.5. That's your banger zones on NEAR. Let's see. Okay. And then Filecoin, I see. I mean, it's on there. It's on Grayscale's list here, Filecoin. And I was looking at this thing last night. Now, also absolute shitcoin. Okay. I mean, look, we did get some pumpage out of this thing, but just to give you guys a little bit of perspective. Okay. Filecoin was trading at, I mean, this thing hit 234 in 2021. Okay. I mean, we were longing this thing at 190. Okay. I mean, it was insane the way this thing has fallen over. Will it ever go back there? I doubt it. But would we get an opportunity to repeat what we did in March when we had the March pumpage? I suspect we can. So if we just compare, you know, something about March, if we start looking at rejection zones in March, we can say 90% potentially on Filecoin and 40% on the table on Filecoin. But how do we get there? Okay, this is an absolute old dino coin, but I suspect we've got an entry coming on Filecoin. So just like I've shown you there on WEEX, I've got these entries preset. Look at that, 4.23 and 4. I'm looking for them to take, you know, while I'm sleeping or whatever. Maybe it happens now, but these are the zones. So hot zone number 1, what do I have here? 618. Horizontals, I've got the 50 MA on the 4 hour, and I've got a backup VWAP here as well. So looking for a bounce in that zone. Okay, interesting for me. And alternatively, 786 fib, looking for a bounce at 4. Okay, so that is the hot zone here. And then if they all fall over, okay, we go back to our main support, which is 3.74. Okay, as simple as that. Those are your 3 levels. Danny, yo, what's happening? And those are your levels. Okay, that is that on Filecoin. And then upside targets, 6.3, 8.3. Now, again, we're not trying to say all-time highs. We're not trying to get too bullish here. We're just looking at big weekly rejection zones. Where can this thing possibly go if there is some momentum? How do we get an entry? 4.2, 4, and at worst case, okay, 3.76. Don't want to go lower than that. That means we are printing new lows on these altcoins. Remember, that was our low from our dump in November. Okay, so a little bit messy there. That was our low from the dump on the 14th of November. Okay, so that's not too bad. Here's our November lows. Okay, that is disgusting if we're going to go there. That is the 5th of November, 3.2, straight to hell. Okay, it's basically straight to hell if we're going to go there on Filecoin. So that is what I'm watching, looking for a bullish play here for that guy. Now, guys, remember, I'm every day, Monday to Friday, I'm on Banter Plus, except for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm going to be on that new channel. So if you're looking for me, make sure you are on that crypto live group. I'm going to show you this channel one more time for those of you that have just tuned in. That is what you're looking for, crypto live group. Okay, join us. We are all rotating on there. Sheldon, Run, Kyle, myself, Fefe. We're all going to have a turn on that channel. So we'll catch you guys on that guy. How's my poll going? 1,000 votes. 59% say XRP back to hell. Look, I tend to agree. Okay, I tend to agree. Guys, good luck out there. Okay, Sunday night, lots of action. It's still day for you guys in the US. You've got a big trading day ahead of you. Sniper Club, guys, I'm going live just now in our private Zoom session. We'll see you in a couple of secs. Catch you guys later.
This Brett is rinsing. See why I don't fuck with these memes?